I'll always remember that night. As the blood moon rose, the entire obsidian royal city awaited a judgment. Don't judge me. Instead, it was the trial of the man standing before the throne, nearly devoured by his own wolf spirit Karen Weil. The Alpha King of the Obsidian Wolf Clan. Everyone says he is the mightiest ruler the moon goddess has bestowed upon the wolf clan. Some say he will become a calamity that brings about the destruction of the wolf clan. And I, a girl abandoned by my family, was thrust into his presence that very night. Become the only one who can stop him from killing. Get down on your knees. The cold voice of the royal court guard rang out in the hall. My knee slammed against the black stone steps, and pain radiated from my bone. I looked up and saw the man sitting on the high throne. Karen. The Alpha King, said to be the most terrifying of all. His long, silvery black hair fell over his shoulders, and his gaze was as sharp as a blade in the dead of winter. He was clad in obsidian armor and reeked of the bloodshed of the battlefield. That wasn't a nobleman. It was a wolf in human form. Is that the girl? From beside the throne, Queen Morvanna looked at me, her gaze devoid of any warmth. Avalini, the one who was exiled by her family. She chuckled softly. Without having awakened her wolf form or possessing a powerful bloodline. She isn't even worthy of standing at the palace gates. The nobles around him let out low snickers. I clenched my fingers. Her fingernail dug into the palm of her hand. If this were the past, I might have looked down. But what they didn't know was that on the day I was driven out of the castle by my family, I had already lost all fear. If I'm really that uninteresting. I looked at the queen. Why did you bring me here? The main hall fell silent in an instant. No one could have imagined that a girl they called useless blood would dare to talk back to the queen. Queen Morvanna's expression turned cold. Because of what you're carrying, she said slowly. It will determine the future of the entire werewolf sea. Continent. My heart sank suddenly. I know they found out. That secret I've kept hidden for 18 years. The silver crescent moon on my wrist. That mark, which had been regarded by the family as a symbol of ill omen ever since his birth. Suddenly, a deafening wolf howl rang out from deep within the royal court. All the flames went out instantly. The entire castle began to shake. The arrogance on the nobles' faces vanished. They looked fearfully into the darkness behind the throne. Your Majesty. One of the elders' voice trembled. The blood moon has come early. The next moment, Karen stood up. His body began to undergo dramatic changes. Black markings spread across his arm, and his golden pupils were gradually replaced by a wild, blood-red hue. He growled in pain. That sound didn't sound human. It was more like an ancient beast about to break free from its cage. Step back, royal warrior, he shouted. Everyone, leave the royal court. But it's too late. A powerful alpha aura instantly swept through the entire hall. Many of the beta and gamma fell to their knees. It feels like a boulder is pressing down on my chest. I can't breathe. That is the power of Alpha King. That is also why they fear him. Because every Obsi Dien Wolf King is bound by a curse. The night of the blood moon. The spirit of the wolf will devour one's sanity. And Karen was the one who was the worst off. Kill me. The man suddenly spoke up. Everyone froze. Karen knelt on one knee, her hands clutching her shoulders tightly. His voice was low and pained. While I'm still lucid. Kill me. No one dared to move. Because no one dares to kill the Alpha King. Just then, my body suddenly stood up of its own accord. I could hear my heart beating. Here. One more time. It was as if some ancient power were awakening within my blood. No. I whispered. Everyone looked at me. You can't go near him. The guard roared. But I had already taken a step forward. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm not afraid. That's all I know. That distressed man seemed to be waiting for someone. Wait for me. Come back, for the first time. Queen Morvana's voice betrayed a hint of panic. She can't touch him. But it's too late. My hand brushed against Karen's face. Cold skin. Scorching breath. And the wolf spirit struggling wildly inside him. The next second. The whole world fell silent. Karen's bloodshot eyes slowly cleared. That massive obsidian wolf, which had once slain countless enemies, actually bowed its head at my touch. It was as if he were submitting. In the center of the main hall, the moon priest suddenly fell to his knees. His voice trembled. By the moon goddess, the mate mark has appeared. Everyone froze. I looked at Karen. She also saw the shock that appeared in his eyes for the first time. No. He murmured softly. It's as if he's refusing to accept some unacceptable fact. It can't be her. His hand grabbed my wrist. It was a very strong blow. But it didn't hurt me. His gaze fell on my silver moon-shaped mark. At that moment, I saw a crack appear in his indifference. Who are you anyway? He asked. I haven't answered yet. Queen Morvana has drawn her sword. Your Majesty, she said coldly. If she really is your mate, then the end of the Obsidian royal family has come. The entire royal court fell silent. And Karen looked at me. That legendary Alpha King who fears no one. For the first time, he showed a look of struggle. Because nobody knows. In addition to the mate logo, hidden within my blood is a secret powerful enough to destroy an entire kingdom. And that secret, it was exactly what they had been searching for all these 300 years. After that night, the Obsidian royal city has never been quiet again. Everyone knows that Alpha King Kalen Vayer has found his mate. But no one knows. Why is it that his mate is a girl who was abandoned by her family, and no one knows? Why did the power of the moon goddess awaken within me, early the next morning? I was taken to the obsidian sanctuary, deep within the palace. It's not to celebrate, but rather for judgment. Do you know what you mean to me right now? Elder the lion, sitting at the far end of the long table, looked at me. His white robe symbolizes the highest authority within the werewolf clan. But there was no respect in his eyes. Only doubt. You're saying that the prophecy the royal family has held for 300 years might come true? He said. It also means that you might destroy our Alpha King. I stood there without answering. Because I know that very well. No one here cares about my feelings. That's all they care about. Am I a danger? She's just the abandoned daughter of a low-ranking noble. Duke Severian spoke slowly. He sat in his seat on the royal council, tapping his fingers lightly on the table. A woman who hasn't awakened her wolf form. But suddenly, she became the Alpha King's mate. What a coincidence. His gaze fell on me. It was like looking at a criminal. Who can prove she wasn't sent by an enemy country? My hand tightened slightly. Just as I thought. They want to kill me. That's enough. A deep voice rang out. Everyone. Stop. Karen walked into the temple. He took off the armor that had been stained with blood the night before. The black royal robe made him look even more stern. Every step he took carried the oppressive aura of the Alpha King. All the nobles bowed their heads. Only I can see it. As H.E. walked past me, he paused for a moment. His breath drew near. Familiar. Danger. It makes my heart skip a beat. I hate this feeling. Until just yesterday, I didn't even know his name. But my body still remembers his presence. Is this what Mate Connect is? It's like a curse. There's no escaping it. She won't be executed. Karen took her seat on the throne. There was no warmth in his tone. Your Majesty. Duke Severin stood up. You cannot disregard the kingdom's security just because of your relationship as mate. Karen looked at him. That glance. It felt as if the temperature in the entire hall had dropped. Are you teaching me how to rule? Duke Severian's expression changed. I wouldn't dare. But the royal family needs a reasonable explanation. He said. If she really is your Luna Queen, then she must possess a status befitting royalty. Karen was silent. I know. They forced him to make a choice. Accept me. It would mean that the entire nobility would rise up in rebellion. Deny me. This means the moon goddess's prophecy will be called into question. A long time. K. Aaron spoke up. She won't become the Luna Queen. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief. My heart sank suddenly. 2. But the next sentence. It shook the entire temple. She will become my contractual princess. I looked up at him. The first time. I don't understand this man. A contract? Queen Morvana furrows her brow. Karen looked at her. The curse of the blood moon is intensifying. He said. She can control my wolf spirit. Everyone fell silent. That's the fact. No one can argue with that. But a year later. Karen continued. If the curse is lifted. The contra. CT is over. It felt as if something had pricked my heart. 1 year. I see. I'm just a tool to cure his curse. Not his wife. Not a lover. Not even the future Luna Queen. Just someone who is needed. I refuse. My voice rang out. Everyone looked at me. Karen also frowned slightly. What did you say? I looked him straight in the eye. I refuse this contract. The hall fell deathly silent. Duke Severin let out a cold smile. As if he were hoping to see me punished. But I didn't look down. If my existence is only to save you, I said, then I'd rather leave. I'm not medicine. You're not your chains either. Karen looked at me. For the first time. A change came over his expression. It's not anger. It was an accident. Because no one had ever dared to speak to him that way. The next second. A powerful alpha aura is unleashed. All the candles in the entire temple went out. He walked up to me. He was so close that I could feel his breath. Do you know what will happen if you turn me down? His voice was very soft. Danger. I clenched my fist. I know. Then why did you say no? I looked at him. Because if an alpha king can only gain power by imprisoning a woman, then he doesn't deserve the crown at all. The air froze in an instant. Everyone gasped. I thought he would be angry. Or even kill me. But Karen just stared at me. A long time. A long time. Then he said in a low voice. That's interesting. Those 3 characters. It sent a chill down my spine. Because I suddenly realized. The way this man looked at me had changed. It no longer feels like I'm looking at a tool. It was as if I were looking at a danger I couldn't control. That night, I was forced to stay at the palace. The contract ceremony will take place at moonrise. But nobody told me. In the traditions of the Obsidian royal family, a mate covenant is no ordinary vow. Once completed, our wolf spirits will remain connected forever. His suffering, my pain. His desire, my feelings. They will sense each other. I stood in the room, looking at the black wedding dress that the maid had brought me. I suddenly realized, I'm about to marry the most dangerous man in the world. One I don't love. Yet the Alpha King is destined to be unable to escape. Just as I was about to accept my fate, a wolf howl echoed from outside the window. Not just any wolf. It was, in fact, an alarm sounded by the royal guards. Someone broke into the palace. The guards rushed into the room, pale-faced. Your Highness, someone tried to assassinate you. I haven't reacted yet. He added. The assassin left a message. Tell Alpha King. His mate will destroy his kingdom with his own hands. My blood ran cold in an instant. Because of the token left behind by the assassin. It is the silver moon emblem that went missing from my family 300 years ago. And this badge. Only one person has it. My biological mother. That thing everyone told me. The woman who had already died. I used to think. Being abandoned by my family has been the greatest pain of my life. Until that night when I stood in the corridor of the Obsidian Palace. Gazing at that blood-stained silver moon insignia. Only then did I understand. My past was never simply a matter of being abandoned. Rather, it was a conspiracy that had been kept hidden for 18 years. Give me the badge. Karen's voice came from behind me. I turned around. He stood in the moonlight. His black royal robe was completely wrinkle-free, yet his gaze was colder than the night. He reached out his hand toward me. I didn't hand it over right away. Your Majesty. I asked in a low voice. Do you recognize this badge? His gaze lingered on my face. Just for a split second. I saw his expression change. It's not anger. It's not suspicion. Rather, I was shocked. Where did you get it? He didn't answer my question. Instead, he took a step closer. Alpha King's presence instantly enveloped me. Danger. Powerful. It made me instinctively want to step back. But I held back. Someone brought it. I said. He said. This is something my mother left behind. Karen's expression suddenly darkened. What's your mother's name? I was taken aback for a moment. That's a strange question. The entire Evelyn family knows my mother. They told me she was a woman who had betrayed her family and brought disaster upon them. A person who shouldn't exist. Liana Evelyn. I replied. The next second. Karen's hand clenched. Ed suddenly. No. His voice was very soft. It's as if they're denying some terrible truth. There's no way she could have a daughter. I frowned. What do you mean? Karen didn't answer. And just then, the sound of bells came from the direction of the temple. Heavy. Rapid. That was the highest level summons issued by the royal family. Someone called for an emergency session of parliament. When Karen and I arrived at the Royal Council Hall. All tea. He elders are now present. And in the center of the desk. There was something else there. A shattered moonstone. An ancient name is engraved on it. The Kingdom of the Silver Moon. My breath caught in my throat for a moment. Because of that name. I've never heard of that. But the expressions on all the werewolf nobles' faces changed. Explain. Karen sat on the throne. His voice was cold and devoid of any emotion. Elder the Lion slowly stood up. Your Majesty. This girl must leave the royal capital. I looked at him. Why? The elder didn't look at me. Instead, he looked at Karen. Because she's not just any noble. She is a descendant of the royal family that rebelled 300 years ago. The hall erupted in an uproar. My body froze. A rebellious royal family, me? No way. I whispered. My family is just a fallen noble house in the north. Duke Severian sneered. Do you really think your family would be willing to take in a girl who can't shift into a wolf? Why do you think they kept your birth a secret all these years? My fingers feel cold. The things I used to not understand. Suddenly, it all made sense. Why did my father never let me go near the old library? Why were all the things my mother left behind burned? Why do all the family members look at me as if I were a mistake? She has the Silver Moon bloodline. Queen Morvana spoke slowly. Her voice was calm. But it made me feel unsafe. That bloodline once nearly destroyed the land of the werewolves. The kingdom of the Silver Moon possesses a way to control the power of the moon goddess. They can make any LF submit. She looked at Karen. Including Alpha King. In an instant. Everyone's eyes turned to Karen. Because they understand. If this rumor is true. So I am not his salvation. I am able to control his weapon. Karen didn't say anything. I looked at his profile. I want to know Hat he believes. Do you believe me? Should we still trust them? Finally. He spoke. Terminate her contract eligibility. My heart sank. Although I've known this for a long time. But I heard him say it out loud. It still hurts. Your Majesty. I asked softly. Do you think I'm a monster too? He remained silent. Those few seconds. More cruel than any answer. Then he said, I need to know the truth. I smiled. It's very light. But it's very hard. So. Until the truth is found. I'm the suspect. Karen looked at me. A complex expression flashed across his eyes. But in the end. He didn't deny it. That night. I was assigned to stay in the North Tower of the palace. That is where all the dangerous werewolves were once held captive. It is not the princess's bedchamber. It is not a nobleman's residence. But rather a beautiful cage. After the maid left. I sat on the edge of the cold bed. For the first time, I felt truly exhausted. I used to think that by leaving my family, I would gain my freedom. But fate has brought me here. Let me meet the man who is meant to be mine. But that also made me his prime suspect. Late at night. I heard footsteps outside the door. I stood up immediately. Who? No response. The door swung open. Karen walked in. He didn't bring any bodyguards. He wasn't wearing the royal robes either. Just a tired man. I watched him warily. Does your Majesty have any further questions? He didn't answer. Instead. He walked up to me. Looked down at me. We were so close that I could smell his scent. Bitterly cold. Like a forest on a winter night. Are you afraid of me? He asked suddenly. I froze. What? Everyone is afraid of me. He said. My enemies are afraid of me. My subjects are afraid of me. Even my own family is afraid of me. His gaze fell on me. But last night. You stand before my wolf spirit. There's no turning back. My heart suddenly started racing. I don't know why. For the first time. His voice lacked the dignity of a king. Nothing but exhaustion. Because I think so. I replied softly. You back then. It's not a monster. Karen froze. I continued, saying. Just someone who's been forced to endure too much suffering. The air grew still. A long time. He reached out his hand. Gently touched my face. My instinct was to dodge. But he stopped what he was doing. It was as if he were holding something back. Did you know? He said in a low voice. No one has ever looked at me like that. My breathing became irregular. Because of that moment. This is the first time I've noticed it. This Alpha King, whom everyone fears. In fact, he's lonelier than anyone else. But just as his hand was about to touch me, suddenly, a blood-curdling scream rang out from outside the window. Right after that, a black feathered arrow pierced through the glass. It shot straight at me. Karen instantly pulled me into her arms. The arrow grazed his shoulder. Fresh blood fell. I froze. You're hurt. He didn't answer. He just stared intently at the darkness outside the window. His wolf-like eyes slowly came into view. The next second, he said in a low voice, "They're here." Who? Karen looked at the arrow stuck in the wall. A scroll made of goatskin was tied to the arrow's tail. After he opened it, for the first time, his expression changed completely. Because there's only one sentence there. Hand over Princess Silvermoon. Otherwise, the Obsidian Royal City will be destroyed on the night of the blood moon. The first time I heard the name Princess Silvermoon, I thought it was just a provocation by the enemy. A lie concocted to sow chaos in the Obsidian King's city. But look at Karen's expression. I know. It's not that simple. That name. It tapped into everyone's hidden fears. Princess Silvermoon, I repeated it under my breath. Who are they talking about? Karen didn't answer. His gaze remained fixed on the view outside the window. The lights of the royal city flickered in the darkness of the night. Countless royal warriors have already appeared on the city walls. They gripped their weapons tightly. Search warily for hidden enemies. But Karen knew. The real danger. Not those assassins lurking in the shadows. But rather, the secret behind that name. You know, the Kingdom of Silver Moon. I looked at him. Right? Karen was silent. His shoulder was still bleeding. But it was as if he couldn't feel the pain. This man once ventured alone onto the battlefield of an enemy country. Kill countless enemies. But when faced with my past, I hesitated for the first time. Tell me. My voice grew firm. Who am I, really? Karen finally turned around. His expression was complex. I don't know. I froze. You don't know? I know. He said. Just 300 years ago, before the kingdom of the Silver Moon vanished. It left behind a prophecy. He approached the table. Pick up that parchment scroll. The bloodline of the moon goddess will reappear. She will awaken the dormant power. She will be the wolf clan's new hope. His finger paused on the last sentence. It will also bring about the downfall of the existing dynasty. My heart sank little by little. So I looked at him. Everyone is afraid of me. It's not because I lack the strength. It's because I might have too much power. Karen didn't deny it. At that moment, I suddenly found it ironic. For the past 18 years, my Family shamed me because I don't have a wolf form. They say I'm a failure. They say I'm a worthless piece of trash who can't carry on the family legacy. But now, the entire werewolf continent fears what lies hidden within me. The next day, an emergency council meeting was convened at Obsidian Royal City. All the nobles gathered in the royal hall. And I was standing next to Karen. The first time. In a role close to that of the queen. Facing the entire kingdom. But no one welcomed me. The way they look at me. It was as if I were looking at a sword that could CE the crown at any moment. Your Majesty. Duke Severian was the first to speak. Alpha Draven from an enemy nation has publicly demanded this girl. This shows that her very existence is already a threat to the entire continent. He turned to me. If she really were just an ordinary girl, why does the Wolf King of the enemy nation care so much about her? A murmur began to rise in the hall. I clenched my fingers. I know. They weren't asking. They were forcing Karen to make a choice. Select a kingdom. Choose me. After all. Because she's my mate. Karen suddenly said. The entire hall was silent. He stood before the throne. No explanation. No excuses. He simply announced it calmly. My heart skipped a beat. Because this is the first time. He didn't call me contract partner. Instead, they acknowledged mate. But the next sentence. But it left me feeling cold all over again. But mate doesn't mean she's innocent. Karen looked at the royal council. Until the truth is fully established. She will stay at the palace. Comply with regulations. I lowered my gaze. Just as I thought. He still doesn't believe me. That evening, I was taken to undergo the Moon Goddess bloodline test. The location is the oldest underground sanctuary in the Royal City. The secrets of the Alpha Kings throughout the ages are buried there. The moonstone was placed in the center. Elder the Lion stood nearby. Put your hand there. He said. I hesitated for a moment. Then reach out. Just as my hand touched the moon god stone. The entire temple. Shook violently. Ancient runes lit up one after another. All the elders' expressions changed. Because the moonstone didn't attack me. But rather. Submit to me. That's impossible. The lion took a step back. The moonstone responds only to those of royal blood. I looked at my hands. A silvery glow appeared in the palm of his hand. Then. A huge shadow of a wolf appeared behind me. Everyone fell to their knees. It's not because of fear. It's because of bloodline suppression. She is not a descendant of the Silver Moon Kingdom. Elder the Lion said. His voice trembling. I looked at him. Then who am I? He looked pale. A long time. He had just said something that took my breath away. You're the bloodline of the Moon Goddess's last guardian. Just as everyone was in shock. The temple doors were suddenly smashed open. A warrior, covered in blood, stumbled in. Your Majesty, Karen immediately stepped forward. What's going on? The soldier looked up. His voice trembled. The north has fallen. Alpha Draven's army has crossed the border. Everyone's expressions suddenly changed. He brought the Dark Moon Wizard. They said. The soldier looked at me. They said they wanted to bring back their real Luna. I felt call. All over. The real Luna? Karen's gaze instantly turned menacing. Who? The soldier bowed his head. They're bringing a woman with them. She has the same silver moon mark as His Highness. The entire temple fell silent. I looked at Karen. For the first time, Karen showed a look of shock she couldn't hide. Because if that woman also has the Silver Moon bloodline, well then, who am I really? Just then, a loud wolf howl echoed over the royal city. It wasn't the voice of the Obsidian Wolf clan. Rather, it was a declaration of war by the enemy nation's Alpha King. War. Here we go. And suddenly, I understood. My identity. It might have been a scam from the very beginning. The bugle call of war rang out over the Obsidian royal city all night long. The sound was like the low growl of an ancient beast. A reminder to all werewolves. It ended peacefully. Early the next morning, on the walls of the Obsidian King's city, all the warriors were ready for action. The black flag fluttered in the wind. At the far edge of the forest, the enemy nation's wolf cavalry has already appeared. They come from the frosty north. Belongs to Alpha Draven. A man who is just as powerful as Karen, yet completely different. Karen protects her people. But Draven believes only in strength. He said, "The purpose of the weak is to submit to the strong." I was standing on the city wall. It was the first time I had ever seen a real war. It's not a family quarrel. It wasn't a conspiracy among the nobility. But rather, it is the battlefield where life and death are truly decided. Countless warriors transformed into giant wolves and lined up at the foot of the city walls. Their claws crushed the ground beneath them. A deep roar shook the air. I clutched my cloak. But there was only one question on my me. ND. The woman with the silver moon mark. Who is it, exactly? You shouldn't be standing here. Karen's voice came from behind me. I turned around. He was wearing black battle armor. The injury to my shoulder has been treated. But I can still see the scars left by the wounds. Why? I asked. Because I'm your mate. Karen was silent. I continued, saying, or is it because you're afraid the enemy will find me? His eyes dimmed for a moment. Do you realize how much danger you're in right now? I know. I looked out at the city. But I want to know the truth even more. Karen walked over. The truth might destroy you. I smiled. Your Majesty. For the past 18 years, I've been living with the truth that others have told me. If you don't even know who you are, then what's the point of me living? Karen didn't say anything. But the look in his eyes changed. He used to look at me. It was as if I were looking at a secret that needed to be protected. Now, it was the first time he saw the real me. One is afraid. Yet she still chose to face her fate. Just then, the sound of a bee ogle came from beneath the city walls. Enemy forces have appeared. All soldiers are on combat alert. Karen's wolf spirit awoke in an instant. His eyes turned golden. At that moment, he was no longer that weary man from that night. He is the king of the Obsidian Wolf clan. Stay here, he said. I frowned. Are you going to the battlefield? It's my duty. And what about me? Karen stopped. I looked at him. I'm your mate. But all we can do is hide in the palace and wait for the outcome. He didn't answer. Because the answer is obvious. He didn't want me to get hurt. But this is the first time I've seen it. A powerful Alpha King. I also hesitate because I'm afraid of losing someone. The war began. Karen led the Obsidian army as they charged out of the city gates. S giant wolf form was more terrifying than anything in legend. The black wolf's body is covered with silver markings. With each attack, the enemy forces were forced to retreat. But there are too many enemies. And Draven didn't show up in person. He was waiting. Wait for Karen to reveal her weakness. Night falls. The first battle is over. The Obsidian Royal City has held. But the casualties were heavy. I arrive. D at the treatment camp. Help the healer treat the wounded. No one ordered me to do that. It's just that I can't bear to see them suffer. A young warrior was looking at me. Asked weakly, Your Highness. Are you really going to destroy our kingdom? I froze. This issue. I can't answer that. Because even I don't know. No. A voice rang out. I turned around. Karen stood there. His armor was drenched in blood. Everyone, please be quiet. He walked up to the soldier. He said in a low voice. She saved your companion. It also saved my wolf's soul. If she wants to destroy the kingdom. She had countless opportunities last night. I froze. This is the first time. He protected me in front of everyone. It's not because of the contract. It's not because of a sense of duty. It's because of faith. Late at night. I went back to my room. But I found a letter on the table. No author listed. There is only one silver moon badge. I opened the letter. There's only one sentence in it. I want to know why your mother died. Meet at the Old Moon Temple tonight. I was just about to leave. Karen's voice came from behind me. Where are you going? My body froze. Turn around. He was standing at the door. His gaze was icy. Have you been following me? No. He said. It's because of our mate connection. I froze. Karen walked slowly toward him. When you're scared. I can feel it. My heart skipped a beat for a moment. Because I suddenly realized. He cares about me more than I thought. Karen. This was the first time I called him. By his first name. He stopped. If there's any truth about my mother there. I have to go. He looked at me. A long time. He said, I'll go with you. I froze. Don't you not trust me? Karen replied in a low voice, I don't believe in this world. But I'm starting to believe you. Let's go into the Old Moon Temple together. It has been abandoned for 100 years. The walls are covered with ancient murals. I saw a painting. The woman in the painting has silver hair. She stood before the altar of the moon goddess. And standing next to her was a young man. That man's face. It sent a chill through my whole body. Because of that face. Just like Karen. No way. Karen saw it, too. For the first time. His voice lost its composure. Below the mural. It is engraved with an ancient inscription. Translated by the priest. His face was deathly pale. The moon goddess's prophecy. Guardian of the silver moon. I will unite with the Obsidian Wolf King. A new royal bloodline is born. I look. D at Karen. And he looked at me. But the very next moment. A dark figure emerged from the depths of the temple. The woman was wearing a white robe. Silver hair. The moon god's mark. Just like mine. She smiled. We've finally met. She looked at me. My little sister. My breath caught in my throat. Little sister, who is she? The woman continued. Elara. You've always thought of yourself as the abandoned daughter. Actually. You are the true heir to the throne that was stolen from you. Karen clenched her fists. Because he finally understood. The true objective of this war. Not the Obsidian Royal City. Not a crown. It's me. The woman stood in the center of the Temple of the Moon. Her long silver hair fell over her shoulders. It was exactly the same color as mine. There was a coldness in her eyes that I had never seen before. Not the enemy's indifference. Rather, it was the cold detachment of someone watching a long-lost prey finally fall into their hands. "Who are you?" My voice is very soft. But my hand was already clenched. The power of the moon goddess within her was responding to her. Like two long dormant bloodlines. They were recognizing each other. The woman smiled. "You really don't remember?" She slowly approached. "Of course. You were just a baby when they took you away." My breath caught in my throat. "Them?" The woman looked at Karen. "Tell her. What is it that you?" "The Obsidian royal family, truly fear." Karen stood in front of me. His wolf spirit awoke in an instant. The golden wolf's eyes locked onto the woman. "Who are you?" The woman wasn't afraid. Instead, he chuckled softly. "Alpha King. You're still the same as you were 300 years ago." Karen's expression suddenly changed. "What do you mean?" The woman didn't answer. Instead, he looked at me. "Elara. Do you think the moon god's bloodline is just meant to make you his mate? That's wrong. The true purpose of your bloodline is to awaken the ancient werewolf royalty." She raised her hand. A silvery power appeared in the palm of her hand. "And me. He is the chosen heir." My heart sank little by little. "If you're the heir, then what am I?" The woman looked at me. A hint of pity flashed in his eyes. You're just a mistake." Those words cut like a knife. It pierced my heart. I suddenly thought back to the past. The family's cold stares. They say I'm a failure. They say my existence is a disgrace. Could it be that? Is everything they said true? No. Karen suddenly spoke up. His voice was deep. Resolute. I froze. He looked at the woman. "She isn't a mistake." The woman raised an eyebrow. "Do you believe her?" Karen didn't hesitate. "Yes." That answer was too quick. It happened so fast that even I was taken aback. Because this man once suspected me. They once locked me up in the North Tower. He once told me that we would part ways once the contract ended. But now, he was standing in front of me. Choose to believe me. The woman smiled. Interesting. It seems fate really has changed things. She took a step back. But you don't know. I'm not the real danger. She looked at Karen. It's the people around you. The next second, footsteps could be heard outside the temple of the moon. Countless torches appeared. The Obsidian royal warriors have surrounded this place. The leader. It was Elder the Lion, of all people. "Your Majesty." The elder bowed his head. But there was no respect in his eyes. Karen immediately became alert. "Why are you here?" The lion didn't answer. Instead, he looked at me. "Finally. The Silver Moon bloodline is now complete." My body froze. "What do you mean?" the elder said slowly. "You've all been deceived. The so-called Princess Silver Moon. It's never just one person." He walked up to the altar. "Take out an ancient ring. 300 years ago. The kingdom of the Silver Moon has fallen. It wasn't because of the rebellion. It's because they discovered a seeker. Everyone, be quiet. The king of the moon goddess's prophecy. He wasn't born into the Obsidian royal family. But rather, he was born of the Silver Moon bloodline." I looked at Karen. His expression grew colder and colder. Because he understood. If this secret is true. And so began the reign of the Obsidian royal family. Will lose its legitimacy. Duke Severian's voice suddenly came from behind. So. He must die. I turned around suddenly. He stood among the crowd. Queen Morvana was standing beside him. I see. They've known for a long time. You guys. Karen's voice was eerily low. You've known who she is all along. Queen Morvana smiled. Of course. When she was born. We just knew it. My hands started to feel cold. Then why didn't you kill me? Duke Severian replied. Because you're too weak. No wolf form. I have no strength. We thought you'd never wake up. My eyes started to burn. I see. My life. I've always been manipulated by them. But we were wrong. Queen Morvana looked at Karen. Because she met you. Her power was awakened by your Alp. Bloodline. She said slowly, so now. We must take the final step. What? Karen asked. Queen Morvana smiled. Let Alpha King kill his own mate with his own hands. The air froze. The next second. Karen's body jolted suddenly. His expression changed. Pain. Struggle. His wolf spirit began to spiral out of control. I could feel his pain flowing into my body through the mate connection. It burns my soul like a flame. Karen, I rushed toward him. But he stepped back. Don't come near me. His voice trembled. I've never seen him like this before. The Alpha King, invincible on the battlefield. But at that moment, he felt like a trapped beast. Queen Morvana raised the black crystal in her hand. This is the true power of the Blood Moon curse. Your wolf spirit will kill her. Because the moon goddess's bloodline and the obsidian curse cannot coexist. Karen fell to her knees. His hand clutched Ty at his chest. The black patterns kept spreading. His wolf form is beginning to emerge. I looked at him. He didn't run away. Karen. He looked up. The red wolf's eyes were fixed on me. Let's go. He said. Leave now. I can't control myself. I shook my head. You asked me loss. Night. Do I or don't I fear you? His breathing was heavy. I walked toward him. My answer is still the same. I'm not afraid. Just as my hand touched him. The entire temple was bathed in dazzling moonlight. Everyone was stunned. Because Karen's wolf spirit didn't attack me. But rather. Kneel before me. Just like when we first met. Submission. In the distance. An aged voice rang out from the altar of the moon goddess. A false prophecy. It's finally been broken. Everyone. Look up. The moon goddess's phantom appears. She looked at me. He looked at Karen again. The one and only soulmate. It's never been about controlling each other. But to choose each other. But the very next moment. The moon goddess's expression suddenly changed. She looked toward the royal city. It's too late. My heart sank suddenly. What do you mean? The moon goddess whispered. The gate of the black moon has opened. The real enemy. It has already arrived. A massive explosion was heard in the distance. Above the obsidian royal city. A pitch-black moon rose slowly. And on top of the city walls. Alpha Draven. Behind him. Tens of thousands of Black Moon legionnaires stood there. War. It's really begun. The moment the black moon rose, the entire land of the werewolves was gripped by fear. Because all the ancient legends have recorded this scene. The black moon appears. This means that an ancient seal is breaking. This means that the power banished by the moon goddess will return to this world. I was standing outside the Temple of the Moon, watching the burning city of the Obsidian King in the distance. The castle that once protected me. It is currently being engulfed by enemies' flames. Countless soldiers were fighting on the city walls. The howl of a wolf. The sound of weapons clashing. A cry of agony. Weaving together into an apocalyptic symphony. And right beside me. Karen. Stand up. He has already returned to human form. But he looked pale. He had just expended too much energy trying to suppress the blood moon curse. I looked at his wound. He asked in a low voice, "Why are you protecting me?" Karen was silent. He didn't shy away from it like he used to. Nor did he hide his identity as Alpha King. A long time. He said, "Because I'm afraid of losing you." My heart gave a sudden jolt. This answer. From the one who once told me. "You're just a contractual partner. Don't fall in love with me. Once the contract ends, so do we." A man. But now. He admitted he was afraid. Afraid of losing me. "Karen," I said softly. "Did you know? I used to think that mate was a kind of constraint. Because it took away my choice." He looked at me. But now. I took his hand. It was the first time I felt that. It wasn't fate that brought us together. Instead. It gave us a chance to choose again. Karen looked down at our hands. His gaze softened. That was a side of him I had never seen before. Not Wang. Not the god of war. Just a man who loves me. But this brief moment of calm was soon shattered. A warrior covered in blood ran over. He knelt before Karen. "Your Majesty, the city gates have fallen." Karen instantly regained her composure. "Where is Draven?" The soldier bowed his head. "He has already entered the royal city. He brought the Black Moon priest. They're looking for." The soldier looked at me. "The Silver Moon bloodline." Karen squeezed my hand. "They won't get you," he said. I looked at him. "What if they want my power?" His gaze was icy. "Then they'll have to step over my dead body. This is the first time. Some people don't choose me because of my lineage. It's because I am who I am." We returned to the Obsidian Royal City. The once magnificent hall now lies in ruins. The black stone pillar collapsed. The royal banner was torn to shreds by the enemy. And before the throne, Alpha Draven is standing there. He was even more terrifying than I had imagined. Long, silvery gray hair. Crimson wolf's eyes. The aura emanating from him was just as powerful as Karen's. He looked at me. "Smile. We've finally met." I stared at him coldly. "So you just want to take my man away from me?" Draven smiled. "No. What I want to take is your blood." Karen stood in front of me. "She's not your property." Draven looked at him. "You haven't changed a bit." "Stupid. To give up a kingdom for a woman." Karen's gaze was icy. "You're wrong. She's not my weakness. She's the reason I became a true king." Draven burst out laughing. "The true king? Do you know what happened 300 years ago? Your ancestors killed the Silver Moon royal family for the crown. And the woman you've fallen in love with now. It is precisely that bloodline that your family destroyed." My body froze. Although I already know some of the truth. But I heard it with my own ears. It still hurts. I look at Karen. He didn't deny it. Because he didn't know. He really didn't know. Draven continued. The union of the two of you. It's not fate. It's the moon goddess's greatest irony. A descendant of a genocidal killer. Falling in love with the victim's heir. The heir was still. I don't know what to believe. Karen was silent. 2. Because this was the first time he had to confront the royal family's past sins. Just kill me. I said softly. Karen suddenly turned around. What? I looked at him. If my existence were to destroy your kingdom. If my bloodline were to cause everyone to lose their faith. Well then. My voice trembled. At least don't let them die because of me. Karen's expression changed instantly. Pain. Anger. And there is love that cannot be high. Den. He took a step toward me. Don't say things like that anymore. His voice was deep. You're not a victim. You're not a tool. You are no one's atonement. He cupped my face in his hands. The first time. In front of all the enemies. Admit your feelings. You're my Luna. Tears fell from my eyes. Because of this moment. I finally know. I wasn't driven to him by fate. Instead. He chose me. Right at that moment. Draven launches an attack. A huge black wolf lunged toward us. Karen transformed in an instant. 2 ancient giant wolves clashed in the center of the royal hall. The entire castle shook. I want to help him. But the Black Moon priest suddenly read behind me. Princess Silver Moon. Your power belongs to the true king. I turned around. I noticed that Queen Morvanna was standing there as well. She actually didn't die. You guys. I was shocked. Queen Morvanna smiled. Everyone thought I wanted to protect the Obsidian royal family. No. To whom I am truly loyal. It was never this kingdom. She lifted her cloak. Revealing a black crescent pattern. I am the last priest of the Temple of the Black Moon. My blood ran cold. I see. All wars. All the conspiracies. All betrayals. The real mastermind. He has always been inside the palace. She looked at me. He said in a low voice, Elara. Do you think you've awakened the power of the moon goddess? No. You've awakened. It's the key to opening the gate of the Black Moon. The next second. The entire earth began to crack. Black cracks spread from the royal capital. Deep within the ancient forest. A dark force that has lain dormant for 300 years. Waking up. And Karen. I'm in the midst of a final, desperate battle with Draven. I finally understand. This was never about the crown. But it's about who can determine the future of this world. The moment the gate of the Black Moon opened, I heard the whole world wailing. It doesn't sound like a human voice. It wasn't the sound of a wolf. Rather, it is an ancient power from deep within the earth that has lain dormant for hundreds of years. At that moment, I finally understood. It was never my destiny to become someone's wife. Nor is it to become a tool of some kingdom. The real reason the moon goddess chose me. It's up to me to decide. Does this world still have a future? The obsidian royal city is crumbling. The ancient stone wall cracked. The royal crest, once a symbol of the werewolf's glory, fell from the tower. Countless warriors fought the Black Moon Legion to the death. But those enemies were no longer ordinary werewolves. They have been corrupted by dark forces. Both eyes were bloodshot. The wolf spirit rages. They have lost their reason. All that remains is destruction. Elara. Karen's voice rang out. I suddenly turned around. In the center of the hall, two giant wolves are fighting each other. Karen's obsidian wolf was covered in wounds. Fresh blood stained the black fur red. But he was still standing there. There is no turning back. His enemy, Alpha Draven, is just as powerful. In fact, empowered by the Black Moon's power, he became even more. You lost. Draven growled. The massive claws crushed down hard on Karen. For the sake of one woman. You forfeited your right to be a true king. Karen raised her wolf's head. There was no fear in his golden eyes. You're wrong. His voice came through the wolf's spirit. The true king. It's not about making everyone submit. But rather, I'm willing to fight for the people who matter to me. The next second, Karen unleashed her full power. The obsidian wolf's soul ignited a silver flame. Knock Draven back hard. But I know. He won't last much longer. His body was nearing its limit. Stop. I rushed toward him. Karen suddenly looked at me. Don't come any closer. There was a commanding tone to his voice. It's still that Alpha King, towering above everyone else. But the first time, I didn't listen. Karen. I walked toward him. You used to always say, it's your responsibility to protect me. But you've forgotten. A mate isn't someone who protects another person. But rather, two people walking side by side. His wolf-like eyes flickered slightly. Because he could sense it. My strength is changing. The Black Moon priest laughed loudly from behind. Stupid. Do you think your love can overcome fate? She raised her black wand. There can be only one heir to the moon goddess's bloodline. Or Silver Moon. Or Black Moon. This world cannot have both light and darkness at the same time. I looked at her. The first time. No fear. You're wrong. She froze. I continued, saying. You're all wrong. You believe that power can only lead to domination. Believing that bloodlines determine everything. But you've forgotten. The moon goddess created werewolves. It's not so that the strong can enslave the weak. But rather, so that we can protect one another. My hand touched the silver crescent moon mark on my chest. At that moment, I heard my mother's voice. It's not an illusion. Rather, it comes from memories deep within one's bloodline. Elara. Don't be afraid of your own power. You are not a calamity. You are the one who chooses the future. Tears fell. For the past 18 years. For the first time. I felt that my mother had truly existed. She is not a traitor. It's not a disaster. She was just trying to protect me. He sacrificed himself. A silvery glow shot up into the sky. The entire royal city was bathed in moonlight. All werewolves. Stop. The Black Moon Legion began to struggle in agony. Because the dark forces within them are being purified. Queen Morvana's face turned pale. No way, how could the power of the Black Moon have been purified? I looked at her. Because you've always tried to control the moon goddess. And I chose to believe her. Just then. Elder the Lion stepped forward. Everyone was stunned. Because of this elder who once doubted me. He is kneeling before me right now. Guardian of the moon. We were wrong. But the Black Moon priest suddenly burst into maniacal laughter. It's too late. She looked up at the sky. The dark moon has begun. No one can shut it down. She's right. The gate of the black moon still exists. A massive crack loomed over the royal capital. The roar of an ancient monster echoed from within. That wasn't a werewolf. Nor is it any known form of life. Rather, it was the first-generation mad wolf. Sealed by the moon goddess. Everyone is afraid. Because they finally understood the true purpose of the Black Moon Priest. It's not about seizing the throne. It's not about controlling werewolves. Instead, it unleashes an ancient calamity. Karen walked over to me. His hand held mine. Are you scared? I looked up at the sky. Honest answer. I'm scared. He paused for a moment. I looked at him. But I don't want to run away anymore. Karen smiled. Very faint. But it was the first time I'd ever seen him smile so genuinely and relaxed. That's why. You're my mate. Let's walk together toward the gate of the Black Moon. Ev. Everyone thought that Alpha King will save the world all by himself. But this time, the land of the werewolves witnessed another scene. The Obsidian Wolf King, holding the Silver Moon Guardian's hand. Let's face the apocalypse together. The final battle lasted 3 days and 3 nights. Karen led the werewolf army to fight off the Black Moon monsters. And I used the Silver Moon bloodline to seal the rift. But this is the final step. It comes at a cost. The moon goddess told me. Someone must give up eternal power. Otherwise, the Black Moon will never disappear. I looked at Karen. He understood immediately. No. His voice trembled. No. I smiled. Karen. You once said, I'm just a contract. But now. I clasped his hand. I want to tell you. I've decided to stay. Karen's eyes were red. The Alpha Key. Who never cries. The first time he showed his vulnerability. Don't leave me. He said. I've lost too many people. I can't lose you again. I reached out and touched his face. You won't lose me. Because it's the real mate. It's not fate that decides. It's a choice of the soul. Just as I was about to give my all, Karen suddenly superimposed her alpha mark over my moon goddess mark. The two forces merge. Silver and black intertwine. The entire sky shook. The moon goddess's voice rang out once more. Finally. You've broken the rules of the old era. True strength. It's never about sacrificing one person. Rather, it is a burden shared by 2 souls. The gate of the Black Moon has closed. The ancient calamity has vanished. The war ended. 1 year later, the Obsidian Royal City is holding Luna's coronation ceremony once again. That day, all the nobles who once mocked me have bowed their heads. All those who once doubted me have sworn allegiance to Elder. And the person standing beside the throne. No longer an exiled outcast. Rather, she is the Luna Queen recognized throughout the entire werewolf continent. Karen was holding my hand. He said in a low voice. Do you remember our pact? I smiled at him. It will end in a year. He shook his head. No. I want to make it last forever. Under the moonlight. We renewed our vows. It's not because of mate. It's not because of the crown. It's because of the choice. But just when everyone thought the story was over. Within the ancient forest. A dormant moonstone suddenly lit up. A new prophecy appeared above. When the silver moon and obsidian unite. A new era is about to begin. But the real enemy, still waiting beyond the stars. I looked into the distance. Hold Karen's hand tightly. Because I know. Our legend. It's just the beginning.